All right. I'm back. I have returned. The things are thinging. My YouTube thing was like, you have notifications. Cool, no notifications. It's like someone posted a short. Excellent. I don't actually need to know that, thank you. But thank you for telling me anyway. I don't mean to sound that salty about it. It's very important for those people because that is their main monetary income. But yeah, it's not actually a short that I want to watch. I watch them for their other shorts instead. Anyway, I will be on until 8 p.m. That's when we have declared it is the children's bedtime tonight. So I will go upstairs and help with bed. And then, because once bed is done, it's beer time. Or rather, we've got a cider to try from one of the local craft breweries. So that's what we will be having tonight. But same idea. An adult beverage will be had after children are in bed. So it is important that I get as much done here as I can. Basically, I have a feeling that anything that gets their zippers in tonight is just what's going to end up being finished for Knit City. So we'll see where we get to. I did take a little bit of time and sort out which black zippers and zippers that need zipper pulls, which ones I want directionals and which ones are fine to just get sewn in. So I've got that sorted out. That's what we're going to continue with here now after the fans. Yeah, so I have a feeling that one that I pitched to the side because the interfacing wasn't right, we're just going to finish it later. Let's just accept its fate as of right now. Yeah, there's like 50 zippers left right now. So I'm like, I don't think we're going to get the whole pile of the small box bags done, but I do think we're going to get a very good chunk of them done. And honestly, do you know what? That's just as important. So, all right. Black Cats and Camellias. And it's a really gorgeous little print. Again, a Dobby, so it's got a slubby warp and weft. It's a gorgeous texture, and these little black cats are all scattered amongst scattered camellias, which are blossom as well. Doll's made a really good chicken tortellini broccoli dish tonight, and the kids devoured it. They loved it, although they generally do love tortellini. So I love tortellini. So I'm not going to complain about someone cooking for me anyway, but like, yeah, it was really good. Although I was saying at the table, I'm like, it is it's really good, but it is missing just sometimes how you eat a dish and you're like, there's something that could just elevate this, just that tick that will make it like amazing. And I figured it out about a quarter of the way into my bowl, and I'm like, it needs some like chili peppers, like the red crushed chili peppers, and that is exactly what it was, and it was so good. So anyway, yum, yum, yum. Satisfactory dinner for sure. And then it was shower time, so we're all cleaned up. Kids are ready for bed. Honestly, I feel like I'm ready for bed, but we will get this rolling. Or keep rolling, I guess. And then we'll get as many of these zippers in as we can tonight. And then tomorrow I will be working upstairs so I can hang out with Dallas since he goes back to work next week. This week, whatever you want to call it. And then, yeah. And if you're like, Katie, doesn't it take work to take all this stuff upstairs? Yes, it does. But honestly, if I get to hang out with Dallas then instead, that is well worth the effort. And for whatever reason, Flynn is wandering around being a pest still. So I don't know what's up there, but okay. Right? Dude, what's up? Are you hunting something? The Myco both go two directions, so I really don't care which direction they go. Although I guess the wisteria is all hanging. Oh no, it goes both directions too, so we're fine. I had that momentary like, wait, am I right or am I crazy? But no, I'm good. The print is two directional. I can't do it this way, but I can do it the way that we're planning it for the small box bag. So we're good. It is also apparently wide. Yeah, very slightly too wide. That's okay. That is, like, again, I would much prefer the cuts to be a little bit larger than too small. So I will trim it down though, just so it doesn't mess with our seam allowance for the pull tab tape. Does mean I also get to trim down this interfacing, which is good. We'll deal with this end of the interfacing when we do the zipper on that end. And then this is a little bit too much fray on this end, so I'll just scoot this in on the inside of that, and then we'll get the zipper in, although now I've hit it. There we go. Turn it up here. Pop it in. Like I said, I don't think these have quite as much directionality as the number 5 zippers. Could be that the zipper pull or the zipper itself or the zipper pulls are like higher quality or something like that. I don't know, to be honest. Although that would be the guess that I would hazard. It's just zipper quality is better in general from YKK than it is from like the Chinese supplier that I've been using. Although, like, honestly, YKK doesn't have the metallic zippers that I want to use for a lot of the purses and stuff like that. So it's like, well, right? I don't know what to tell you. I'd prefer to use YKK for everything, but I also really like my metallic zippers for the exterior zippers for the purses. So here we are. And that's what we're doing. Zoom. All right, turn, push, and fold. So yes, I was around the 40-ish mark when I went upstairs. Now we're around the 50-ish mark. Quite a few of those did get added in because they're non-directional prints, or at least it doesn't matter which direction they face versus the zipper. Blah blah blah. Like, Katie, we really don't care. And that's okay. I'm just rambling on. But I figured we may as well throw them on there, and then we'll just see where I get to from tonight. And these are going to be some of my favorite prints as well, so I wanted them to be added into the queue, basically. I do feel like it does mean the ones that actually need their zipper pulls installed to see if there is a directionality will probably end up having to wait until after Knit City. Really not a big deal. I did just pay my bill for Shindig, so that was good. I forgot that she'd emailed last. Well, I didn't really forget, but it was like one of those things that was just like side mind of like, oh right, I gotta pay them. Because that is important. Being in shows means paying people to be in the shows. But I'd forgotten to do it when I got the payout for the pancake pop-up. So I just did it. Now it's done. Now it doesn't even have to be in like the back burner side mind. When I'm saying side mind, I'm thinking side eye, but back burner is actually the correct term. Or I guess what would be considered the correct term. So. I did also snag a zipper for both the coffee cup cats and the other cats are back in town on the teal. Although I haven't seen that one's handle, so we'll see, I guess. I should have almost checked to see if I had the handle for it before I committed to being like, yeah, I'll totally sew it. Because now that I think of it, Did we sew it today or the other day? Because I don't remember seeing it at all. Well, I guess we can always, oh no, that's Hedgies. It's the same color background. Oops. Okay, I'm going to say that as much as I want to have that one finished, we're going to pitch it too, because it's like I don't see its handle there. Unless it's in the bag, which it is not. Okay, sweet. Let's just get rid of it then. Get out of here. One less bag to do, but I did match it up with the dark brown zipper because it's going to look really good with that. So that can go over with this one that's like the Japanese windows onto gardens. There we go. One less one, because why not? If you don't have a handle, you don't get sewing right now. I don't know how it got out of the cutting room without a handle, but all right. Who the hell knows? I obviously don't, and I'm the maker. Oh dear. Okay. There is no thread in the needle. I do not understand. Does not compute. I will definitely be changing the needle after this round of sewing. Between the 2 days, it probably will end up being about 12 hours worth of sewing, so time to change it. I guess the other thing I can always work on tomorrow is actually getting the rest of the photo editing done. Ooh, that's a good point. I wonder... That might actually be a better task for tomorrow, rather than having to move everything out of the basement. Or at least for like while I'm sitting with Dallas, and then I can do I can still do the handle turning and stuff like that. Ironing and handle turning, or getting an update that I've promised for the 25th actually done. I guess getting an update that I've actually promised for the 25th done is higher on that priority list right now. So I need to turn this off so that I'm not getting all of those buzzing on my watch. Work focus. Work focus. Means I still get texts from Dallas, but I don't get like all of the Instagram notifications all the time. Okay, even that up with the interfacing, because that makes more sense with the seam allowance anyway. Align this with the lining because that makes more sense up here as well. Zippity zippity zip. These are the strawberries on the like dark denim background basically. Super cute. There's also the light version of it. There's a lot of strawberries this year. I bought a lot of strawberry fabric last May and then never got the time to actually get it processed to go into stock before this year. So, you know, better late than never though. That's what we're going to stick with, because otherwise it's like, what the heck am I doing? Oh, man. This is that adorable carousel horse in snow globe fabric. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. I don't know if I love it more on this or if I love it more on the pink. I like different aspects of each of them. Although I actually think I might like it a little bit better on the black. They just pop. I don't know. There's just something really nice about the pinks and yellows on this black. That's just like, the pink background is really gorgeous, but it doesn't have quite the same kick as seeing it on the black, I guess. I don't know. You guys will have to let me know what you think, because realistically, I obviously have my tastes. But not everything can be fitted to my taste, and nor does it need to be. So, or suited to my taste, I guess, might be the better descriptor word there. And exactly, it's an excellent time of year for strawberries. That's what I figured. I'm like, I came full circle. So now is the time for strawberries. There was no real way to get May fabrics into the shop in time for strawberries last year. So they'll be front of mind for us right now. Crazy thing is as a kid, I did not like strawberries. So I'm wondering if it's like something that happened. So apparently there's this whole thing with Brussels sprouts, because it's like, who really remembers eating like as many Brussels sprouts as we did or do now previously? And apparently there's been this whole thing to breed out the bitterness selectively from Brussels sprouts in like even just like the last 10 to 15 years. Like it hasn't, like it's fairly recent. And I'm wondering if they did something similar with strawberries, because I remember strawberries being like, I don't know if it was just we didn't have as good access where we lived, or like if the crops weren't as good or what, because I remember strawberries being so gross as a kid. We ate a lot of raspberries, and raspberries haven't changed. But like, I really like strawberries now, and I'm just wondering if it's like just our access to them has gotten so much better. Because this has been like, when I say a kid, I mean like 30 years ago sort of thing. How am I able to say multiple decades ago? That sort of thing. That's the scary part. I'm like, no. And not just like 2 decades ago, like a solid 3. Gross. I guess I have been knitting. So I've been knitting for nearly half my life then. Next year I'll have been knitting for half my life, which is the insane part there, actually. We're not going to think too hard on that one, because hi. But yeah, I do remember strawberries being way more bitter, and like it would be like a situation of like blueberries where you'd almost need to take like a whole handful and eat the handful all at once to like counteract the bitterness of the berry. So I don't know, maybe I'm making it up, but it feels like strawberries have gotten better. Blueberries are still the same. You still gotta take like that whole mouthful to counteract the tartness sometimes. Just the toddler handfuls into your mouth. That's the way to eat blueberries. Although I do know that the ones, at least at Costco, are really, really, really good. They've had the, right? It could also just be my palate too has changed in that time period. Like, who knows, right? I think I'm going to chalk that one up to a combo of a bunch of factors. Could also just be what my parents could afford at the time. Like, we can afford different. We definitely have a larger berry budget than my parents would have ever had. So that's definitely a factor in all of this too. Not that they're not still expensive, but socioeconomics as well. Velmont, BC, being in the butthole of nowhere, basically. Gorgeous country, but my God, was it rural. And obviously there was ways to fix that. You got strawberries and then you covered them in like sugar, and then that also helped them like release the juice, and then they were really good. But it's like, we don't even have to do that anymore. So I have a feeling I'm gonna have to look it up. I'll look it up later, and I'll report back, because I feel like it is like the Brussels sprouts. And I am going to start up that blog post on the website of like stuff. Yeah, I don't know. This is just, it could have, do you know what? It might have even just been one summer. It's like a very specific memory from like when we used to live in Belmont, and it was just like the strawberries were so bad. And I don't know if it's me, like if it was me, if it was the timing, like it was definitely summer, and like, but they were white from what I remember. They weren't the red like we have now, which obviously always indicates a nice ripe strawberry. Or like if you had them, they were like that ripeness was few and far between. I feel like it was just maybe an economic thing and access, right? Like money versus rurality of where we lived as well, and all of that. Our kids adore strawberries. It's like one of their favorite fruits. So I'm glad that we were able to provide good strawberries now. I don't know why we never grew them, because seeing how they're like, this one that we have is like thriving on the patio. I'm like, why didn't we grow strawberries? Seems like it would have like made for better strawberries. Okay, I said that I didn't care which way this one goes, but this one is a little bit more directional. Damn it, I do want that one though. So we are going, well, I'll end up doing another zipper setting with the ones that need zipper pulls, but yeah, but they also need to be directional. Yeah, I'd chalk it up to combo things. I've always had a sweet tooth too, so maybe I just didn't like them because they weren't very sweet. So anyway, I'll look it up. Maybe it is like the Brussels sprout thing. Maybe they have been more selectively bred. Who knows? That is, oh my goodness. That lining is really far off of that interfacing, because like, that's not going to work. Okay. Get out of here, interfacing. Actually, that's a good point. I probably could still sew that Japanese windows garden one later, and or with one of the ones that would probably end up being with the zipper pull bags. I think that's better. I can make that one work. Okay. Ding, 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 ding. Why is the thread pulling out of the needle so much? Does it not know that it totally knows that I am under a time crunch. So it's just like, I am going to thwart you at every step tonight. Okay, if it does it one more time, we're changing the needle. Maybe that thread will help us all along. Okay, the other bobbin is wound, so we're good there at least. Excellent. Although I will say one of the best strawberries I ever had, since I'm still on that thought process apparently, was actually in Japan. Their strawberries seem to come, I think they came into season in February, or at least the hothouse, like greenhouse ones did, because they had a big like strawberry fest. Oh, going in February means that I might be able to have this again. Anyway, while I was there on exchange, and they made a daifuku, but it was like a cream daifuku. So basically it was like a paste, a mochi wrapped around a strawberry that had like cream around it. It was so good. And that was one of their special items for like February when the strawberries were in season. So now that I think of it, maybe we can get something like that when we're there for the marathon. Yeah, so apparently this is a thing. So it's like, because it was like something we were talking about, and it was like, we ate Brussels sprouts as kids, but like, never really heard of people like roasting Brussels sprouts and doing a bunch of different things with Brussels sprouts. They're all just kind of like steamed and served, and you really, like, for us, we really only ever ate them with Thanksgiving. But apparently they've gone through this big campaign to like breed out what bitterness that used to be in them. So I don't know. Like I said, I'll track it down, and then I'll look up the strawberries and see if that's the case, or if I'm just like, it was a bunch of the other factors. Probably something in the middle of the two. I really like Brussels sprouts. At least I do now. I don't remember disliking Brussels sprouts as a kid either. But it could maybe then also be one of those things of like, is it something that you taste? Or is it something like for everyone? Or is it something that like only certain people can taste, much like cilantro or coriander, which like you have to have the gene switched on for it to taste gross to you, sort of thing. Me, I cannot stand cilantro. Although it doesn't taste like soap to me, it tastes like licorice, and that's why I'm like, ugh, I can't do it. I'll go back to January though, because like January I find is pear season, and a few years, at least I think 21, yeah, January of 21, my God, the pears that I was able to get at Save-On, they're still making me drool. They were organic d'Anjou, and they were so good. It might be like between that and this was a tip from the Fat Squirrel Speaks, Amy Beth. And she suggested Sumo Citrus. So it's basically, it's a really fancy orange. They're fucking expensive. But like, I have yet to have a bad Sumo orange. So like, it kind of makes the price worthwhile. I had them at Costco a couple of years ago, so I'm hoping that they come back with them like in the next few years, because yeah, they were really, 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 really good. And it was like a February or January thing, and it's like dead of winter here, obviously, and you're just like, yes, this orange just tastes like sunshine. And it was kind of the same with the pears, because it was like one of those situations you bite into it and it's just like there's like juice running down your arms, and like it's such a visceral experience, along with the flavor was absolutely amazing. So now I'm craving a pear. Hi, Dahlia. What's up? Stop trying to scratch my chair. Why are you trying to scratch my chair, bud? She's like, because I love you. Well, you can show your love in other ways, besides your little pinprick nails. There are other ways. She's like, oh God, you're going to knock me off this chair. Well, then you shouldn't be on the back. She's like, okay, well then I'll go on to the bags and knock them all over the place. How's them apples? Actually, now that I think of it, I wonder if it was just also my parents just didn't know how to pick up good strawberries. Because there is like an art to it. And it's not like ripe strawberries would cost less, or unripe would cost less than ripe. So I wonder if they just didn't pick the right strawberries. Could be that too. Because I'm just thinking of them because they used to be like, sorry, I don't mean to harp on this, but that just popped into my head because I'm like, the ones that like were gross were the ones that were like red on the outside, but they're always white on the inside. So I wonder if they were just strawberries like that lied, or if maybe they just didn't know how to pick strawberries. Like, there's so many factors in this. But that is one that just popped into my head. That is a possibility. Like, who knows? Because, like, grocery shopping is a skill. It just takes practice, but it, yeah. Well, I'm going to keep bugging you because you're laying on top of the stalk, so I'm gonna have to learn to deal, cat. I don't know why the yawn. I'm not actually tired right now. I actually feel fairly bright-eyed. Probably just jinxed myself. But you know, right now, we're feeling good. All right, I need to add shop to the list for the Kyoto Day because it's down by Nijo. Nijo is a bit of a trek out from where we'll be staying. Well, not too bad. But the shop is like down a little, it's a like cat theme shop. So Gallery Miki 2012. It's on Instagram. Got lots of cute little cat stuff. And the mug I bought from there broke pretty much in the first 6 months, which I'm really sad about. So I'm gonna have to go get another. Actually, yeah, the last couple of years has been really brutal on a lot of my handmade mugs. It's just like, no. I had a gorgeous like peony mug from a local potter, and it was really nice because it was like one of those ones where the peonies were matte glazed, and then the actual mug was shiny. And then, but that one broke because it was on top of our pony wall and it got pushed off and fell on the stairs. Totally my fault. Still really sad. And then the cat mug broke. The kids were involved in that one somehow, but I think it was still mostly on me. At least that one I'll be able to replace a little bit easier. The peony mug's gonna be really hard because she's like not really doing launches. She was only really selling in a shop, and the shop is closed now. And I'm like, damn it. In one of those locations where it's like I'm not in the area very often, so I never got to get down to get it. And I'm like, now I'm like, Should message her again and find out if she's got any on hand now that the shop is closed. That's what I should do. But it's like, yeah, like she doesn't even have an email through her website or anything like that. So she's really hard to get a hold of. Instagram DM works moderately. So I guess just in another one. It's not like I'm in a huge rush to replace it, but I would really like to replace it eventually. Maybe I should get 2 of them because they were very pretty. And I'll make sure I get one from Chasing Fire, wherever she's at next. She'll probably be at Shindig actually. So no, that's not enough. We're gonna do a full scene there because in Calgary, gorgeous work, like I said. The other one, I don't remember the artist's name, and they wouldn't be available in Canada anyway. But they're from this gallery, Miki, super cute. And then the cable mug that I had was from Chasing Fire. And I do also have like one of the really nice lace mugs from Sharon Sachar. I lucked into one at TNA one year, but it doesn't fit under my coffee machine. I should just start using it for a beer stein or something like that. That's what I should do. And why I say lucky there is because the mug is extremely reasonably priced, like very much so for the amount of work that goes into it. The shipping to Canada, because it's fragile, I think it doubled the price of the mug. So I was just like, I know I love it, but I cannot justify that. So when he was selling off his show samples at TNA one year, I was like, yes, please, this one. All right, so this is one of the ones that she's still using the non-fusible interfacing because we still have non-fusible interfacing. And the handle that matches with it is made with non-fusible interfacing, so blah, 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 blah. Long story short, lots of words, no content. We are using non-fusible interfacing for this one. It feels so weird to be using it. I'm like, yeah, no, fusible interfacing is apparently the way to go now. Damn it. Oh well, live, learn, all that. Progress. Ding. Ding, ding, ding. Good. Good. Zoom. Ding. Okay, that is actually lined up right there. So we're not going to even do anything. We're just going to leave it like that. Bring this up. Dahlia, what are you doing now? Good Lord, you two today. I swear though, if it's not the kids, it's the cats. And if it's not the cats, it's the kids. And it's just like, chill out, please. Both sets of you. Right? Like, good Lord. She's trying to get behind the blinds and I don't know why. She's all like, these blinds stink. Must give them my scent too. All right. There is the last of the ones that got added. So now we're back to about that 40-ish mark. We might actually get this mostly done tonight. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see what we get done. Zoom. Flynn, please stay over there right now, buddy. And leave her alone. You're going to cause a fit. Hey, hey, leave her alone. I see that stocking. Oh yeah, now she's like in between the blind and the window. You can see her little shadow on the blind. All right then. And if you're a little bit like Katie, you're on a time crunch. Why are you trimming those? Because I could trim them now or I could trim them later. And honestly, if I do it now, then I don't have to do it later. I don't know. Just in the headspace to do it right now, I guess. Good and good. All right, on to fans. Ooh, fans. Meow. Hello, cat. What's up? Yes, you're a very pretty boy. I see you over there. Sorry, there's not much to talk about when it's just like, mark the seam allowance. Sew the zipper. This one has a fan pattern on it, on a light blue background. The fans have Japanese motifs on them in bright colors. I am installing a white zipper in it because I don't want to compete with the colors that are already in it. We looked at multiple ones when I was color matching and I just went, none of them jived, and I was just like, let's just put in a white zipper then. And here we are, putting in a white zipper. That is the most interesting thing to say about this bag. Until it gets closer to being done, at least. I don't know why also I'm like twisting around so much, because realistically I can move this right beside me and just pull from it right here, and then I don't have to worry about twisting every single time I need to get a bag. Blah, blah, blah. This one always, and I will say this every time I sew with it, but it looks like Sailor Moon to me. Just like the colors and the palette, which is the colors. I guess the mixture of the colors, like the distribution. There we go, the distribution of colors. Always reminds me of Sailor Moon. That's why I bought it. Because realistically, I would not be doing this today without having had Sailor Moon in my life. So you know what? Kudos to Naoko Takeuchi for inspiring a love of Japan. And Deke for their absolutely horrendous dub of the series. Oh, that was so bad. There's certain series that like I can no longer watch in English because it's just like I just hear it that like no. One of the few I really enjoy in English still at this point is Inuyasha. The Japanese voice actors are amazing, but the English voice actors that they got for that series are just like they're some of the best dub actors I've heard in a very long time. Richard Ian Cox, who voices Inuyasha, did a lot of other work before it. The woman who did Sango as well had done a lot of stuff I recognized. And then Kirby Morrow, who's sadly passed away, but he was Vaughn in Escaflowne and a bunch of other anime voiceovers as well. He was Moroku in Inuyasha. But yeah, just like I think that is that one, and then the dubs for the Ghibli movies are like usually pretty up there as well. Like Howl's Moving Castle has got some amazing voice actors. Actually, from what I'm hearing, the most recent one from Ghibli, the one with the heron, sounds like it's really well dubbed too. Okay, I still have to twist, but I don't have to twist as far. We are still going to sew the duplicate of this one because it's cats in sweaters. And like I said, every time there's been like just a complete fervor for this bag when I've posted it before. So we will sew both of them. Even though with the time crunch, that was what I committed to because I was like, nope, we need all the cats in sweaters. Both the linings, I'm going to have a little bit of a drink and then we'll get those placed in. I've got just under an hour now. Based on the like 3 minutes per bag, I probably have about 17 bags left that I'm going to be able to sew. Let's see. Definitely more than 17 bags stacked there, so I don't think we're going to get through all of them tonight. I might come back and do more. Because here's the thing, I'll very likely be able to get through all the ironing tomorrow. Turning and ironing. Although I guess I can work on the reversible. Oh right, I just said I was going to work on the update that I'm supposed to be doing. Haha, that's right. Remember your other responsibilities, Katie. Which doesn't it puts me in a bit of a bind, but it does work out in some ways in my favor that I work on that tomorrow instead. Because like I wouldn't have to carry everything up. Ironing could just happen downstairs on camera on Tuesday. That's not a big deal. So maybe tomorrow is just a photo editing day, and I'll turn all the handles and like the bags that are done. No, that doesn't make sense to take them upstairs, but I will turn the handles and the all the other things that need to be turned. the luggage thingamabobbers, handle covers, and the card holder thing. Yeah, I think that's the better decision then. In part because I keep forgetting that I actually did commit to putting out an update this month. Whoops. Yeah, I actually have to still finish that update. That's kind of key in this whole, I'm going to do an update in July, is like actually doing the work to do the update in July. What? So yeah, the big thing that's left there is I've got to update all the listings. So what I'm going to do with the listings this time, instead of just putting them into like Kato, small box bag. There are no small box bags, but like Kato, large box bag, pouch, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do like Kato or cat prints Kato bag, that sort of thing, because otherwise I'm going to start running out of space in my variant listings on Shopify, because Shopify only allows you to have like 100 variants. I'm like, I don't have 100 bags to list, but I think it would also make it less overwhelming as a consumer or customer to go in and look at, I just want a cat bag. I am here for what you're known for. I want a bag with a food print, like that sort of thing. Now, obviously you'll be able to go in and like look at all of them, but it will make each listing less overwhelming than just, bam, here is 50 new Kato bags in here. Now, the one that I currently have listed that does have a mix, I am not reposting the bags, and there's also not that many left in either the large box bag or the Kato, like full variant listings. I'm not actually that worried about it. But anything new will be going into like Japanese motifs, which would be like the fans and the parasols, and probably that's the one that I keep saying looks like Sailor Moon. Cats, obviously, dogs, bunnies, all the other animals, because there's not going to be that many other animals, which will include, and then birds. Basically, I'm going to kind of make it look like my fabric catalog will actually probably be the categories that I go into, because that makes sense actually, now that I think of it. But yeah, so if you're going to look on the website for this next update, things will be listed just slightly differently than I did last time. Last time I did the variant listing, it seemed to work really well. I did that in part because the SEO on it is going to hopefully be better, because the more you put of like duplicate listings, the lower you tend to rank on SEO listings. And so it's like, how different can I make a listing for like every single Kato? So like I'd have like hundreds of listings and they'd all sound very similar. Whereas this, I'll have 5 or 6 like category listings, and it'll have like a nice little blurb that'll be a little bit different. It'll have a little bit more information about the bag, and then it'll just have the prints under that category. So, and of course, if you ever have questions on these sorts of things, you are always welcome to message me or email me, and I'm happy to chat to guide you where you would want to go, probably. Should I do blue, beige, or white for this one? I can't remember what we decided on. I know we decided on something, obviously, but who knows what it was. And this is just stuck all... Not the right layer to pull apart. There's the right layer to pull apart. Come on. Damn it. Cat problems. I think this was meant to be a white lining. Maybe. There we go. Okay. Get that opened up there. There we go. And then just... Okay. All right. White listing for this, or white lining for this one. Oh yeah, that looks right. Oh my goodness. There's quite a few there, but there's quite a few less than what we started with today. The pile underneath with the zippers that are actually installed is quite a bit larger. Yeah, and now that I'm talking about it, I won't take these upstairs. I won't iron them tomorrow. I will work on getting the shop update done, and I will take up the handles and the little card holders to turn. That's what we'll do tomorrow. It's probably more than enough work, especially considering that, yeah, how much work I have to do with the actual update. If you want to be one of the first to know about the update, please subscribe to the newsletter. This is going to sound super convoluted. Go to my Instagram though, and I've got a link to a page on my website that has a link to all the important stuff. Or there's a box at the bottom of the website page. Very, very bottom. Scroll all the way. And you can subscribe to the newsletter there. And if you can't, let me know, please. I'm assuming you can because that's how I've got it set up. But you know what? You never know. So. And that's how it's intended to be used. But I have been known to mess things up and mess things up fairly recently. One of the big ones I messed up was the pre-order timelines when I posted all the pre-orders in December, or whenever it was when I did the last pre-order call, and it's like, oh no, these are supposed to be like this, like 2 to 4 weeks longer than the timeline that was apparently didn't get edited out. I'm like, Katie, God damn it. Talk about putting pressure on yourself when you don't intend to. The timeline that I put on it was more realistic and what I was anticipating it to be, and it was correct. Mostly because it was like, well, we're going to be on vacation and stuff just after I take these pre-orders. So that's going to add 2 weeks right there and all of that. And it's just like, oh my God. And instead I had instead of having like an 8 to 10 week timeline, which is what I was going to post, I had it down to like a 4 to 6 or 6 to 8 week. And I'm like, that is not, yeah. It got pointed out to me and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. That was not, I must just not have hit the save button on the listings, or I missed like 1 or 2 or something. So yeah, if the newsletter link doesn't work, please let me know. Long story short, TLDR. Although I guess in this case it's like TLDL. Too long, didn't listen. All these words and so little content. But like I said, there's no, what am I supposed to be talking about, I guess. This is why I need to go to Japan. I need new stories to talk about. I want to go hike Fushimi Inari. I haven't hiked Fushimi Inari the last 2 trips, and I really want to go hike it. Fushimi Inari is the big shrine with all the torii gates, and it's a business success shrine, and like there's a big hike all the way to the top of the mountain. Gives you a really good view of like Kyoto, all of that. But Caroline would have been able to hike it, and that's fine. And the time before, I like literally just didn't have time because it was such a fast trip. So the last couple times I've just been onto into the main area to pray and buy my Ama for another, a little prayer board. And then I've gone up to the section that's probably the most impactful part of it. Like if you're time crunched and all you're going to do, or all you can do at Fushimi Inari is go up and see the 1,000 gates, that's what you do. And that's what I've done the last couple times. But I'm like, man, I want to go hike the mountain. So it is on the agenda for the next trip. If I end up being able to swing a solo trip in the early new year, I don't think I will, then I will make sure that that's a priority. Because I think if I were to swing a trip in the new year, I would just go to Kyoto, Osaka. I would skip Tokyo completely, probably. Although at the same time, I don't think any time before June lines up with any of the temple markets or anything like that. That's why I was like, I'll go in June. And the main thing I would need to go for is kimono. So, I don't know. I'll suck it up. 18 more months. 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 18 months. 18 months. I need to restock on the cat paw scissors again. Cat paw scissors. Cat paw scissors. Cat paw scissors. Scissors. Cat paw scissors. Cat paw scissors. Cat paw, cat paw, cat paw scissors. All right. This fabric was too perfect so this was from May of last year as well. It was too perfect because when we were there, the hydrangea were like in full bloom. They weren't quite when we arrived, and then by the end of our trip, it was just like hydrangea everywhere, and they were gorgeous. So, hydrangea were actually the flowers in my wedding bouquet. I am not actually a fan of hydrangea. I really want peonies, but I think we were just too late for peonies, so I got hydrangea instead. So they still have a special place, just weren't quite what I was envisioning when I was envisioning my bouquet. There we go. That is the best way to put this. So, no, come here. Do not roll over that. This ruler is like, I quit. I'm done. No more. You don't like hydrangea? Then no more measuring for you. Apparently the ruler must really like hydrangea. Alrighty. Hello, if you're just joining, what I'm working on right now is small box bags, which are typically intended to be a project bag for knitters and crocheters. It holds 3 cakes of 100-gram fingering weight yarn really nicely, and then in one of the other corners you can put your project as well, typically. Like if you're working on like a 400-gram project, it's like really good for those like 3 skein DK weight shawls and stuff like that. Although realistically, the sky is the limit. Do not be limited by what I tell you. The only thing I do not condone is please don't use my bag for illegal means. That's it. They are machine washable, air dry, so machine wash, cool, air dry. Because then what happens is that the interfacing does not lose the fight with the dryer, because it will. And you can pop out the corners and it helps the bag actually maintain its shape. If you're joining me from Knit City, Canada link, I will be at Knit City, Calgary on August 17th and 18th. If you're in the Calgary area and unable to make Knit City, Calgary, I will also be at Omatsuri on August 10th. And then I am available year-round at Ancient Arts Yarns Dye Studio, as well as at Market Spot in Market Mall. Although my selection at Market Spot needs to be replenished, so quite significantly. And I do think I'm going to start moving in some of the stuff. I'm going to shuffle around the stock a little bit. Maybe add a few things and take a few things away. So I think everything there is doing pretty decent. It just kind of like ticks along. So I have been debating if I'm going to stay there or what I'm going to do, but yeah, we'll see. It's nice having like a presence that like is just something that does tick along. It's pretty low pressure. I need to go do some volunteer hours there and do some like sales myself. So that'll be something that I think will help boost it in, and why I'm like, nah, we'll stick it out for like a few more months. They also just moved into a new location that I think is going to serve all of us far better than the old one. So and if if you're new to all of this, please feel free to throw any questions you have into the chat. I'm happy to have my monologues directed. That definitely did not catch the lining very good. Alrighty, let's flip, and then I'll do it from here. And we're also going to make sure that it's like not, we need that line actually to be opened up a little bit. Seam rippers. Seam rippers. Didn't realize that the lining didn't reach all the way to the top. I know these pieces are usually a little bit larger though, so I'm not worried about it. We'll just make sure that this is opened up so that I can actually sew the ribbon in when I get there. There we go. Okay. Let's do two more ticks down, just so that it is properly opened up. There we go. That'll be good for later. Okay, so pay attention to that when I flip it. Turn, pull in. Apparently it might not have been a very straight cut this time. Although I thought I did a decent job of it. It's not looking very straight. Ugh, gross. Oh, okay, it's actually not too bad. But yeah, this side is definitely a little bit smaller than the other side, so it's good actually. This means that does actually match up with the lining. Make the lining a little bit small. Ooh, no, it needs to be bigger. All right, so the lining is, I make them a little bit smaller. Basically, I fold it a bit smaller because then the lining doesn't become baggy in the actual inside of the bag. It's also why I interface the interior instead of the exterior, is so that it provides shape to the bag without, it just holds everything out better than if I was to interface the exterior. Interfacing the exterior would lead more rapidly to a baggier interior. In theory. You know what? I have actually never tested the other way around, so I don't know. What do you have here? Thread that you don't need. Okay, cool. Penguins! This was a print that Paula of Dana's basically like cleared me out of last year, so I'm glad that I had a little bit to make some for my general public purchases this year. Also didn't want to like step on her toes by having like literally giving her a bunch of penguin fabric as I was selling a bunch of penguin fabric in the booth. That doesn't normally fly very well. So I was like, you know what, we'll wait for a year. I think by the time that we were out in It City, it'd been announced that Calgary would be hosting this year anyway. So, oh well. Also, if you're watching this and you're like, oh my God, I need that, just message me. I am more than happy to like set anything aside. Oh, that is way too deep. It needs to be here. Yeah, because you guys are watching. So you get newsletter subscribers get first dibs to everything that get posted into the shop. You guys get first dibs to it before it even gets there, I guess. Somewhere in there, 3 or 4. I hate when they run out like right in the middle of sewing something. If you haven't been in the Sesame Street sphere for a while, Cookie Monster owns a foodie truck with Gonger. And of course, Cookie Monster's always eating some sort of important, well, almost always. Gonger one does once in a while. But is almost always eating a very important portion of the food that they get the like order for. And so the question that Gonger asks very often is like, Cookie Monster, how could you do this to me? Anyway. Ask me how to say you have toddlers without saying you have toddlers, I guess. Although that was one of their first kind of shows that they watched quite a bit. We are now into Paw Patrol, and like, actually no, we haven't even watched much Paw Patrol recently, mostly because I like introduced them to Gabby's Dollhouse, and I was like, thank goodness, because Paw Patrol is good, but it got very repetitive and very like annoying pretty quick, whereas I find that I do not get it, like, find Gabby's Dollhouse does not get as repetitive as quickly, thankfully. The other thing they like, the youngest really likes Blaze and the Monster Machines, which is awesome because it teaches like some applied mechanics, very basic applied mechanics, and like numbers and stuff like that. What else? Mika and Blippi, which is good. We were on a Bluey kick for a while, but we haven't gotten into season 3 or the second half of season 3 yet, so it's kind of like one that I want to sit down and watch with them. There just hasn't been a good time to do it, because most of the time when they're watching TV, it's because it's like TV daycare, basically. They're at home and I'm sewing, so it's not like I have like the capacity to sew and watch a TV show at the same time. If I have anything on the TV down here when I'm sewing, it's because it's like something repetitive that I've seen over and over and over and over and over again. Also, I finished, so one of the big benefits to running on the treadmill that we have at the house is the fact that I can watch TV on it because it's got a screen. So I did finish The Devil Wears Prada. I've been doing a lot of training recently, so it was like, what did I watch first? I watched Pride and Prejudice, the Keira Knightley version. And then I watched Little Women because I was like, oh man, I could really go for a rewatch of Little Women right now. And then it was like, this is like a suggested movie for you based on what you've been watching. And I'm like, perfect, that's exactly what I wanted to watch. And then The Devil Wears Prada. I'm gonna have to find a few more things because I have a feeling that I'll end up watching some more here, because I'm gonna try to train as much as I can outside, and definitely for my long run next Monday I will be outside, because it's something like I don't know. This Monday's not too bad. It's only 8K. I'm like, oh, thank goodness, because I don't feel like doing more than that right now. I'm training for a half, so 8K is not. It's just over a third of a half, but like still, I'm like, oh, I don't want to run more. I know it's been going for like a really long time at this point. Like how many? It's insane. And it's good. It's a good show. It's just, yeah. It's all we watched for a little while. So it's like, I was done. I'm like, even if I'm not really watching or listening to it, it's like, it's still in the background, and it seems like I tune in to the same spot. And it doesn't matter what they're watching, but I tune into the same spot in every single episode. So like Gabby's Dollhouse is the same way. It's like, it doesn't matter that they've been like watching multiple episodes that day. It's like, I will tune into the same spot that they watched like 4 days ago. It's actually kind of annoying. Annoying superpower. But yeah, that's what happened with Paw Patrol. No, that didn't even catch the lining. Oh, I might. Nope, that needs a tear. That actually needs to be pulled out. All right. Seam ripper time. Seam ripper time. Come on, seam ripper. This is your one job. I should actually also start winding the next bobbin. Okay, we're gonna Go along, rip this whole portion out, and then, yeah, they are really. And that is, although the Gabby's Dollhouse, they go on like a lot of different adventures actually, which is kind of nice. So it's framed as an adventure too, which is different, I think. I'm sure our like continual watching of Sailor Moon and Pokemon felt very much the same to our parents. Although before that it was, and I definitely know because there weren't very many episodes, but like Inspector Gadget and stuff like that was definitely like the Saturday morning cartoons. Which, do you know what is actually probably one of the more unique things about Bluey too, is it's not overly repetitive. It like actually has typically a different theme every time. Although I guess that might be a little bit easier when you're doing only like 7-minute episodes versus like 22 minutes. Like, although at the same time also harder because it's like you got to come up with 3 times as many episodes in the same space of time then, or like 3 different themes. I don't know what would be better or worse, I guess. Do not envy anyone their jobs in children's entertainment, that's for damn sure. Okay, I'm going to ignore the foxes for now. We're going to actually do a flip here. So I'm seeing a few more on the bottom here that I would prefer, like the other penguins. And if I'm not going to overly prioritize because I do think I'm going to come back down and I'm going to do more zipper installation. But there are definitely ones that I would prefer to get done for sure over other ones, like that one and this one and this one. And these guys. This floral, I'm going to tuck at the bottom because I could take it or leave it. This one can come to the top. There we go. Okay. We are down to very few bags though. But I do also only have 20 minutes until I need to head out for the night. So we've got about 7 more bags we can finish tonight-ish. 6. Let's go with 6. And then, yeah. Tomorrow will be more prep for the shop update. That'll be happening on the 25th or 26th. I guess the Friday, so it'll be the 26th. And then, yeah, and a little bit of turning, but not much. I was originally planning to iron upstairs tomorrow, but if I don't have to carry everything up, it's way better for everyone involved. Laptop is a lot less labor to get upstairs than an ironing board and an iron and all the stock and keeping track of all the stock pieces. But I will take up a few things to like turn and get sorted, because taking card holders and like a turning stick or 2 for the handles is not as big a deal as everything else getting schlepped upstairs. So you're maxed out. You're done. Yeah, Dora isn't really one that we've even explored. I've never heard of Mike the Knight, although I feel like that might hit on all the right buttons for both our kiddos. And Max and Ruby, I have said no to, because whenever I've heard them talk, they have been so nasty to each other that I'm just like, no, we're not doing that. Same as like Peppa the Pig. I'm just like, no, do you know what? They're cute, but there's just some things in there that I'm just like, I don't want them copying, I guess would be the best description. So. Actually trying to find maybe some more Japanese kids shows. That would be good too. I wonder if there's some that are like very explicitly teaching words and stuff like that. So like almost like a Sesame Street, but a Japanese version. I bet you there's a Japanese Sesame Street, because I think they localized to a lot of locations. But like Neko, like just like very basic God, I could use it. I should find that just for myself. Whatever on the kids. I need it. Maybe not that basic, but same idea. I think actually NHK does a listen to the news in simplified Japanese. So maybe that's what I should do for like some listening practice. Ding, 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 ding. Alrighty. We're getting there. We're getting there. 7:45. I really love how bright and cheery this one is. I have told this story before, but I think it's worth repeating anyway. That these colors and nearly the same motif were a motif that we actually saw on a Maiko's obi like 2 days before we went and actually bought fabric at Nomura Tailor in Kyoto. So like just complete happenstance and like is essentially the same colors and everything. The only difference being that her obi was like silk and like the this is obviously cotton, but like, and the motifs were definitely different too, but very like, it must have been a trendy, like, not that Maiko really buy into trends, they're very classic, but maybe more that the fabric was reflecting the art, I guess. That might be the better description of it. So it was really cool to see though. So every time I sew that fabric, I will mention this, and every time I sew it, I also think of that obi very vividly. And like complete happenstance that we even saw it when we saw it and everything like that. These are potato lucky cats, again on that Dobby, and Dobby being that it's a slubby warp and weft, gives it a really nice texture. It's a sand background. The cats are fucking adorable. All the things. All the things. So when I say that I'm going to be listing new bags in categories, this would be one that would fall under cats. Not because it's not a Japanese motif, but because it's the primary thing that I see when I see this fabric is cats. Because it's not like a traditional like maneki neko sort of motif or anything like that. It's a very like cutesy, we're going to play up the cats portion of the maneki neko. Maneki neko being lucky cat in Japanese. That one didn't shift very much. Sweet. Do 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 do. Another blue one. Oh, look at that. And then there's one more piece of blue fabric for the blue bunnies, I think. And then I think we're done with the blue. Oh no, there's two more pieces. So probably one for the blue bunnies and one probably for Capybara-san. And then we're good. Sweet. This one's a little bit less intense and less of a guessing game than the Kato because it's like, it's not like I've got to match up the pockets as well. So it's pockets and lining in terms of Kato. Little tuxedos are so cute. Actually the line that I need there, and then this is actually the line that I need for the exterior, and then that is the line that we need for both interior and exterior is right there. Apparently my needle, oh right, I tapped the go pedal, so I'm like, why is my needle down? But that makes sense. Blah, 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 blah. Nope, too much fabric for the interior, not the exterior. There we go. That's the rule though, more fabric is better. Much prefer more fabric than not enough. Because there's no way to add more fabric after the fact. There is definitely ways to remove fabric after the fact though. So, i.e. my trusty pair of shears right here. As we have been witness to in the last like 5 minutes. Yes, it's Spank Bear time. Oh, I was supposed to sew the blue ones. Oh no, we're gonna sew the Spank Bear first. The horror. Anyway, the reason that I bought this one was because it's a like bear fabric, but it's like all these different comic book things, and this is why. Because staring at me when I was looking at in Kyoto was Spank. And so like there's Bam, Wonderland Cool Bear, oh my god, Fancy Bear. I think that's what that's supposed to say, is Fancy Bear. And anyway, the Spank is what sold me on it. There was another color version of this. I don't know if I still have fabric of it. This is the last of this one. So if you want your own Spank Bear in this colorway, please get in touch. I love it. It's so ridiculous. And this is why I go to Japan in part for fabric. Started with the cat fabric, and now I'm getting like crazy bear fabric apparently. Because why wouldn't I get a spank bear? God, that sounds like it needs to be behind a paywall. Spank bear. I should have kept spank bear behind a paywall. Oh God. Okay, anyway, I giggle at it every single time I pull it out, obviously. As I'm sitting here giggling at it right now. It's just such a Japanese, like Japanglish fabric. That's what I love about it. Definitely not a fabric you find in North America, and I doubt that any of the importers of like Project by Cotton, Kobayashi even, would import something like this. And I doubt I would have been able to find it even through the like Etsy sellers that I used for middlemen, because yeah, maybe just outside of what you would normally expect to sell in North America, unless you're me apparently. So, and probably a few others, because I definitely sold that other bag like almost instantly. So it's not just me. There's a small but mighty demand for spank bear. I did only bring like a meter of it home though, because I was like, do you feel like this is like it is hilarious, and I think it's going to hit a very certain audience, but I do think that audience is probably fairly small. So far so good. We're almost out of it. Okay, capybara-san definitely needs to be sewn. So I'll make sure that that one gets done next. And then I think I've got time for 2 more. So I'll do the capybara, we'll do the bunnies, and then I'll head out. That's just because it's kiddo's bedtime. Actually, I'll do these 2, and then I'll do a count, and I'll let you know what the damage is for what we need, what's left to finish, I guess. Ooh, there we go. That's what we should call them, for the ones that are like behind the paywall. Oh my God. I don't know what else would go in there. It would just be the bear fabric. Right now. If I get more, I think it has to be like 3 or 4 fabrics to get its own category. But that is hilarious. I always joked with Caroline that she should have a restricted 18 only section, and it's just all yarns named with like swear words basically. But I do really like the idea of a behind the paywall category. I'll watch for more spank bear next time. Oh. I don't know. I don't know if that's ever going to get topped. Beaten. Oh my God, that's even worse. I don't know what. I don't know if I'll ever find another fabric like that. So I'll keep an eye out. Maybe Spank Bear will be part of a narrative series. Same as like the cats and the polar bear and penguin, who look like they have had a child together or adopted or something. I don't know what's going on. I'll have to pull it out. But it's the same polar bear and penguin that have been like to New York, and they own a cafe together, and like the pancake makers. But the next set, they've got like, they're camping, and there's a baby polar bear or kiddo polar bear, and I'm like, where did this child come from? Put a whole new perspective on the relationship, I guess, maybe. I don't know about that one. Actually, no. I'm gonna ignore the rabbits, and we're going to do this microcap forest one, and then I'm going to head. Anyway, yeah, I'll pull the camp fabric out, I guess. Well, we're going to be done in the middle of August, so maybe I can get some stuff done in it for the next update, and it can be like part of the last hurrah of summer camping sort of thing. Should have thought of that actually when I was cutting back in apparently April. Is the fact that it wouldn't all get done for April. Cutting back in March, I guess. We were cut. This is all stuff that was cut like last year or in freaking March. Ugh. Oh, there was no way to work much faster, especially with like this bug that I had at the end of June and everything. I guess there was a couple days, but whatever. I'm looking forward to... I'll still have to work for a shindig, but I am looking forward to a little bit slower. Well, not much slower, because I will want to stock up for shindig, depending on how Knit City goes, I guess. Like a slower September, but I'm like, do you know what? No, I shouldn't slow down. I should go in and we should go do the experiments with the waxed canvas, actually, is what I should do. And then there's some stuff to wrap up for... There's just stuff to do, so I'm like, I'm looking forward to a slow September, and it's like, they don't really have a slow September coming up. It's good too, though. I really do want to get those wax canvas bags like sorted so that I can start making them. So that at least, okay. I'm excited for September of being able to try out some of the things that have had like have been in brain itch for the last quarter year, but like I knew that I wouldn't be able to really touch until September. So, and I do have a full week of the kids still being in summer camp right after Knit City, so it's like that'll also be a good week to just kind of, I'll putter around, reset the studio, might clean the carpets down here again because the cats have been throwing up on the carpet, and it's like, oh, those just need to be cleaned again probably. All right, we're done sewing. So we've got 1 and 2 because of the bunnies. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And the directional zippers, which were not included in the original count. So 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. And 1, 2, so 25 left in total. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 19 out of 75 left. So we did over 50 zippers today, which I am fully impressed by. Obviously, a couple have been set aside so that we can sort some stuff out. But overall, yeah, I think only 2 or 3 are going to head into actual timeout. Actually, I think only 2 are going to head into timeout. Just because their lining doesn't have quite enough interfacing on it, and so we'll deal with that post Knit City, because going back that far is a little bit much right now. Anyway, I hope you guys all have a fantastic night. I will not be streaming tomorrow. I will just be working upstairs and watching Dallas play Zelda. Like I said, to hang out before he goes back to work. And then I will be back down Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and in the daytime and in the evening as well. Kiddos are in summer camp. And then I will be back on next Saturday, Sunday evening, and next Monday, because, you know, can't stop now. We're almost there. Hope you guys all, yeah, I'll chat with you on Tuesday. I hope you have a fantastic night. And if you are not subscribed, please do. That'll let you know when I come on. Or if you